My dad still talks about how much he loves my mom to this day, even after their divorce. Okay? He always say no other woman compared. Okay? He could never love another woman the way he loves my mom. He always says it to this day. And it's been 20 plus years since they've been together. All right? And he's still saying how much he loved her. But they didn't work out because of his mistakes. So believe me when I say men do regret losing a good woman. A lot of y'all will say, oh no, that's not true. That's not true. Maybe because you weren't a good woman. All right? Learn what a good woman is first before y'all come in my comments saying, oh no, that's not true. It wasn't true for you, sweetheart. You weren't a loss to him. That's why it's not true.
Too many men lose a good woman because they stupidly choose to feed their ego with other women's attention instead of valuing and appreciating the love and loyalty of their own woman who ignores every other man for them.
Money can't buy a solid female, bro. I don't give a fuck what you do. If you got a good solid female at the crib, bro, and you know she's solid, bro, leave these bitches alone, gang. These bitches ain't shit. Don't fuck up your happy home fucking with these nothing ass bitches. Cause you can try to call one of these bitches right now. I don't give a fuck if you want a $5 biggie bag. These bitches ain't gonna come through for you, bro. What I learned, bro, money can't buy a solid female, bro. I don't give a fuck what you do with money can't buy that, bro. That just gotta be done, bro. Money don't buy everything. And I hate when people say that. But I ain't gonna lie. But if you got a somebody solid at the career, bro, don't risk your happy home fucking with these nothing ass bitches, bro. And I'm saying this because I'm witnessing this shit every day. I'm seeing this shit every day. I'm the type of motherfuckers I'm around, bro. Like, these bitches ain't shit, bro. Like, bitches to be with they nigga on Instagram, all happy, next day doing the.
Can I describe how bad the regret is for a man that loses a great woman? One that would do pretty much anything and everything that he could possibly ever want. And here's the thing about regret, right? These guys really don't show regret. It's much like every other emotion outside of anger. They just choose to suppress it. And what they'll do is, more often than not, if they are chasing after another woman, or if they've been talking to another woman, they lost you because they were doing something they weren't supposed to do. They'll suppress all of this, right? They have tunnel vision, and that's pun intended, on these new women, on whoever it is that he is actively involved with, right? But it's not until he finds himself alone, whenever these women figure out who and what he is, or they're all done with him for other options, when that man circles back around, that's when you may see a little bit of regret. And even then, a lot of the times, enough time has passed that he really doesn't feel regret. He kind of just feels like he can slip right back in there and occupy his time with you and maybe feed you enough lines to where you will believe that he is actually sorry or that he's changed. Now, when the man is not with you, okay, and he's out actively pursuing all these other women, this is what you got to understand. These men are not out here changing their mindsets, right? If he's gone for 3 months and he's out chasing Betty Lou Who over here, he is not trying to work on anything that he is going to promise you when he comes back. Hey, I've been out. I'm really a changed person. He hasn't changed anything. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I don't know if there's something in the water. One thing a man gonna do is lose his girl that he was madly in love with and forever regret it. I've been seeing like a wave on social media of like men like crying out for their exes. And I don't like mean literally crying, but like we know who they're talking about. And it's like, when will y'all ever learn? This story has been rewritten 1,000 times over since the beginning of time. It's like, why don't women ever regret losing the man? Riddle me that. Why don't women ever pine after their exes the way that men pine after theirs? And that's a genuine question. And I'm not saying every situation that's popularized means that women never lose. I believe that they do. But it's just like, it's more, 9 times out of 10, it's a man crying over the woman that he should have done right by, who he misses and he should have married or just treated her better. And it's like, when do y'all learn the lesson? When do you catch the clue? Like, why don't you ever listen to your girl when she's telling you where she's at? And this isn't every man. A lot of men, if he's emotionally mature enough, can recognize that the woman that they're with is the woman that they're supposed to be with and desire to work on their relationship. And as much as I would say this is like a youthful thing, it's not. There are men well in their 40s and 50s who are still running around, still playing games, still think that there's a perfect woman for them that's supposed to complete them. And really the answer is you. You are meant to complete you just how I am meant to complete me. And then we come together. It's not I fulfill you and give you purpose. You should already feel fulfilled and have that purpose before I got there. And then it's like they have all these reasons why they messed up. And the sad part is that could very well be true. But in the same sense, you knew that you had these issues before I got here. Why didn't you work on them before we hooked up? Why didn't you work on yourself before I got here? Why is it after you drag me through the mud and we go through this whole thing that you're like, oh, I have issues. I was broken. I was not raised to be a man that does right by his woman. Like, you knew that. You knew that in your previous relationships. You knew that on your serial dating sprees. You knew that. But it's only when I get here and you drag me and then I leave because I know I deserve more and I stayed for my own reasons and because I genuinely thought we can make it work, that you're like, why are you leaving me? I have all these issues. Like, duh. I know you have these issues and I told you had issues and I told you to work on them and I told you to invest in our relationship. But for some reason, men always think that because you love them, you'll always be there to deal with their level of trash. And I just want to know where that comes from. Like, you wouldn't even deal with half of the things that I take from you or that you've done to me. So if you wouldn't say it's because you don't love me, you would say it's because you have self-respect and disrespect will not be tolerated. So why is it that when I leave because you've disrespected me for a long period of time, I never loved you? But if I were to do even one of the things you did to me and you left immediately, it's not that you don't love me, it's that there's something wrong with me? Where does that mentality come from? Like, when do we get to this place where men stop regretting losing a good girl? And you either don't pursue that girl because you're not ready, or you do right by her when you're with her. Like, when is that going to become an option? Is that ever going to happen? Is there ever going to be a wave of acknowledging that you're not ready for a woman? And if you really want a woman, that you'll be committed to do right by her?
So do narcissists regret losing good people? And of course, if you're near, I'm a clinically diagnosed narcissist. So contrary to popular belief, narcissistic people, a lot of us do regret and miss people, y'all. It may not seem like it because you get a lot of narcissists that move on very, very quickly to try to get past the relationship dynamic or to try to get rid of the accountability and the shame. And some narcissists just don't be like being by ourselves. But some narcissistic people, y'all, do regret losing people in our lives and whatnot. But very rarely will you find one that takes accountability for losing that person. Very rarely will you find one that actually takes, apologizes and tries to make things right. A narcissistic person's ego is so big that they rather let their relationship self-destruct and explode rather than take accountability, make any type of behavioral alterations or anything like that. Because their pride is so huge, I'd rather just blow everything up than to say I'm sorry. But just because they regret losing you does not mean you should go back. Hope this helps.
Ladies, I know y'all always had that thing in y'all head where y'all be like, oh, he gonna regret losing me after y'all break up, you know what I'm saying, and y'all part ways or whatever, right? And understandably so, I get why you would think like that, You want somebody to want you as bad as you want them, and, especially if the relationship didn't end the way you wanted it to end. But sometimes I feel like we have to grasp the fact that it's okay that that person is not with you anymore. And we have to also understand that everybody who loses you, they're not actually losing in life because they lost you. It's not really a regret. And I feel like that really just go back to what I was talking about before when I was having a conversation or something like that, right? And I was like, sometimes people are great people, but that doesn't mean that they're great for you. And that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got their own person out there. It's so many people in the world for you to find somebody who is exactly for you and fits the needs that you need. You know what I'm saying? For you specifically, right? But it's like, those people are great people, but they're just not great for you. They don't fit what you want them to be, how they should. And you might want that, but they don't want that. So because of that, they're going to leave. And they're not going to regret it per se, but you might want them to regret it, but they don't really be like that all the time. And I feel like once you get to understanding that, truly like actually dissect what that means, like sometimes people are great people, they're just not great for you. You'll understand that you'll be able to go on and find a person who actually is for you. And no, this is not dating advice, because I'm some random guy on TikTok who you'll probably scroll by and never see again in life after watching this video. But it just, you know, food for thought.
Hey, yo, listen, recently I just got asked a question on a coaching call, and I felt inspired enough to want to talk about it with you. She asked me, how do you make a man regret losing you? To be honest, I kind of stay away from that question because any man knows that if he ain't working to keep it, then he asking to lose it. I'm only speaking from experience here. I'm going to get into it a little bit. Does he regret missing you? No. When a man is inconsistent, when he can't reach you, he's going to go to like your mom, your friends, your male friends even, or he's going to find a way to try to even email you. But it doesn't mean that he misses you. He misses the power and control that he had over the situation. And now that he no longer has that, it's starting to really bother him. I know this because, like I always say, back in my younger days, like I was very manipulative. Like even if I couldn't reach somebody, I would start to post like subliminal messages, trying to show them that I changed, or trying to show them that, you know, I was just trying to get their attention. Ego. I was trying to make them regret losing me. And that's how you know regret is going to start to show with him. Because this is only a trick that manipulative people use to make you think that they changed. They're going to watch everything that you do on social media. And then if he does that, I'm going to tell you right now, give him a movie. Show him that you're the main character. Show him that you're moving on. Show him that you getting your nails done. You getting your hair fixed up. You switching things up. You moving different. I'm just somebody who cares, because the most mistake that I see a woman make is they end up losing confidence. They feel the need that they need to heal and just curl up in a ball, and that one day it's just gonna go away. So go take your hair out that messy bun and go get it done. Hit up your friends and go out for a night and stop crying. What you need to be doing is working on yourself. What you need to be doing is going to get that book in my bio, The Uncut Diamond. You need to be booking a coaching call and let me get your mind right. Because the best thing in this state of mind right now is to work on yourself. Keep living, because I promise you that rejection that you feel was only God put in your heart in protective custody. If you need to go out for a walk, then go do that. If you need to go run, then go do that. If you need to go work out for 30 minutes or an hour, go do a push-up, go do a sit-up. If you need to go do something that reminds you of your purpose, then go do that. Make sure that you out here feeling new. Make sure that you out here having confidence. Don't allow what left your life to affect your life. Don't allow what hurt you stop you from being your best you. Sometimes you got to realize what you were holding on to just doesn't exist anymore. Stop telling yourself you need closure. You don't need closure to close that chapter in your life. Stop saying you lost the love of your life, because that's crazy talk. Speak life over your life. There's power in the tongue. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm sorry for what you've accepted. But you also got to remember at the same time that you a boss. You need to set new goals. You got to realize that you are blessed. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case got to be, till you believe that. Somebody's saying, well, like, Alex, I'm going to just block him. Listen, you could block him and he going to create another fake page. It don't matter. If that was the man that God had for you, then I promise you he wouldn't have fumbled you. Some men were never raised. They just grew. I just hope for you when the real love, when the real thing arrives, I pray that you're ready for it. I pray that you let that in. I pray that it highlights the things that are special about you. But listen, we gonna talk soon. But I just want you to remember that all men know if they ain't working to keep it, then they asking to lose it. And that's on God. The rest gonna be on me. Love.
These are the type of women that men regret losing. 1, the woman that supports his passions. 2, the loyal down to the soil women. 3, the one that's going to challenge him for the better. 4, the one who accepts him for who he is. 5, the one that's going to tell you the truth regardless of how it makes you feel. For more tips, make sure you guys hit that follow button, subscribe to me, or book me if you want one-on-one coaching with me. I'm King X Crane. Peace.
Nothing, and I mean nothing, will scar a man more in his life than realizing he let a good woman go. For why he did it, insecurity, jealousy, not feeling good enough, it will literally haunt him for the rest of his life, watching that woman get the man that she deserves to be with, because he just simply could not step up to the plate.
Not every breakup hits a man the same way, but let me tell you, when a man realizes that he lost a real one, the regret is real. These things are what really makes a man regret losing his woman. 1, the genuine love and the support. When he looks back and realizes that you were his biggest supporter, you were the one who believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself, that is a tough loss to swallow. 2, the emotional safety and understanding that she gave him. Now, men don't always open up, but when men finally find somebody to help them open up and be vulnerable, that's rare. So losing that kind of connection definitely stings. Number 3, it's the peace over the drama. Ladies, if you've brought peace into his life instead of chaos, trust me when I tell you, when you leave, it's a big difference. And he definitely notices the difference once you gone. Number 4, having a woman who helped him grow. If you challenged that man to be better, pushed him toward his goals, you helped him mature, the impact does not fade, especially when he realizes all women are not doing that. Number 5, the sickest part of it all, when she moves on and glows up. Nothing, and I mean nothing, makes a man reflect harder than seeing his ex-woman move on and up, genuinely being happy without him. The truth is, men do not always process regret immediately, but when they do, it's usually because they lost a woman who added value to their lives. Share this if you know your worth. Make sure y'all follow me for more tips. And if you need a one-on-one coaching session with me, the link is in my bio. King Crane. Peace.
Do men ever regret losing that good girl? This is something I feel personal, you know. It's absolutely, dude. You know, you always thinking about what coulda, shoulda been, but what ended up actually happening. And it sucks because, you know, usually those good girls, they end up in a relationship and you see her being happy and a guy's giving her everything that you felt like you should have done. And, you know, it hurts, you know, and it's because it's so hard to find a woman who's like really real for you. And I think all guys, we can all relate to that. Like, it's mad freaking hard. So it's like when you find that woman that's like really down for you, my advice to any dude out there is to hold it down. But also it's like a lot of times too, this is why I say, like in my last video too, a lot of men need to heal before they jump into relationships. Because a lot of times like good girls pop up right after you get done dirty. And then you end up doing her dirty. And I think that's why you need to heal. So when that right person comes, you prepared and you know exactly what to do, for sure.
Things that made me wisen up about being out in the streets too long, right? You start talking to dudes that's in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s about their regrets. And what you hear them all say, and I'm speaking for the ones that don't have a wife in those ages, they wish when they were in their 20s and their 30s that they stopped playing games. Yep. That's the main regret that all of them have. They don't bring up money. They don't bring up time. They bring up the fact that, like, I have wasted my life on insignificant relationships. Right. And I wish right now I had a partner with me because it was fun back then and I didn't have no wisdom of what's to come. And I realize now a partner would have made my life so much better, so much more rewarding. And that's just... That's just the plight of life, right? But you guys have the ability to learn from this. See, that's the thing. With social media, you get to see the struggles of other people and learn and say, I got to course correct because this mindset is not what I really think it is, nor what I want it to be.
So as a narcissist, I do have a lot of regrets and, like, you know, feel a lot of guilt from losing good people and good women in my life. But there's always a but, right, with a narcissist. But the way my mind works is that it automatically finds a way to blame the other person for them not being in my life. You know what? They didn't belong in my life because I outgrew them. I was growing and they didn't want to grow with me. So bye. Even though I might have done something horrible to that person, like cheated on them or manipulated them or lied to them or something like that. I don't know how cheating can equal growing, but my mind would justify that. I've said this before, but a lot of narcissists and toxic people don't experience regret and guilt like non-narcissistic people do. We experience it on a spectrum. Well, we'll feel it, we'll acknowledge that it exists, but then our mind goes into like self-defense mode and it automatically flips and blames the other person for the actions or behaviors that they have experienced. And if you choose to stay with this narcissist or this toxic person, then the narcissistic person thinks that you're okay with the behaviors.
Statistically speaking, on average, men tend to regret breakups a lot more than women do. Researchers tracked 5,705 participants across 96 different countries and found that while women may feel more hurt and pain initially from the breakup, they tend to move on and get over it faster and more fully, whereas some men may never get over the breakup, and that's where the phrase "a man never forgets his first love" comes from. Despite the idea and stereotype that women are more emotionally involved in romance, a 2021 international study found that men tend to experience more pain than a woman does after a split, and this makes a lot of sense when you take into consideration another study that was done in 2024 from the behavioral and brain sciences that indicate that romantic partnerships mean a lot more to men because men tend to benefit more from romantic relationships with with a woman. Interestingly enough, from that same study, there was one survey conducted from 1,400 men who dumped their partners, and out of the 1,400 men who dumped their partners, 76.5 of them said that within 60 days, they regretted breaking up with their partner, with their woman. And with all the information and data that's out there, it tells me that one of the reasons as to why men tend to regret the breakup more than the woman does is because men have a tendency to be a lot more impulsive than women do. I'm sure you've heard this stereotype that women cannot be trusted to make rational decisions because they're hypersensitive and overly emotional. Well, the data actually shows the contrary. Women tend to be a lot more logical thinkers than men think they are. A clear example of that would be the stock market. Women tend to outperform men in investing because they stay on course despite the rise and fall of the stock market. They don't panic and pull their money out of stocks as soon as it starts falling. Men oftentimes do, though. There's hella other studies that have also been done that clearly indicate that men and women have nearly the same amount of emotions. The only difference is that we tend to bottle them in, which leads us to making impulsive decisions because we have so much emotion built in. A breakup is one of those examples. And why do you think men come back to a woman's life? Because they made a decision that they're now regretting. Women, on the other hand, will carefully consider the pros and cons of what they're about to do, and they make a decision based on something that they've carefully considered. So even though women tend to take a little longer to get over the relationship, when they do it, they get over it fully and well, while men sometimes may never get over it.
So yes, men do this all the time. I've done this, the regret, the reflection of a good woman. The thing is, those are lessons for us to be the people who are meant to be, to respect ourselves, to respect other people's time. The thing is, the reason why I put those women in those positions of not respecting and not respecting their time is because I didn't see them as long-term partners. So why I was doing all those things, stringing along, not giving, not committing, was because those are not someone I want to be with. They're good women, but I wasn't ready and they weren't my person. So if I met those same women today after doing the work on myself, I still wouldn't be with them. It's just the process would be I will respect their time and openly communicate, hey, I just don't like you in that way. And could we be casual or could we just move on? But they are good women. They're just not my woman. So if you're in that position, they do reflect and regret, but just know you never were theirs.